Alright, let's get back into it. Oop. I have unmuted playback on 2 windows. Alright. I need to do a quick reminder to myself to what I was working on. So we had a bit of automation on the Minecraft controls. The back and forth every time. Bit of automation on the biomass burners. Rates aren't quite what I wanted them to be, if I remember correctly, but we'll work on that as we go up tiers. But the current excuse me. The current project is up here. We are working on Tier 1 iron. Building as if we expect to go all the way up to 240 per minute total input, even though we're only going to be starting with 120. This is going to give us rods, screws, plates, and rebar. And I need materials to build up. Ooh, there's a moisture sphere up there. We want that.
Witness a single strand of the tapestry. The effigy has no song, only echoes, but it is part of a river. Why does the effigy avoid the windows?
Attention. Your brain's operations are outside typical parameters. Time spent daydreaming will be deducted from your sustenance budget.
Okay, so we need constructors, but those need the reinforced iron plates, so we need... We'll start with 8. I think we're going to end up needing more than that. Yeah, we're definitely going to end up needing more than that. have running over here? Is this reinforced? This is rotors. Switch that over to reinforced iron plates. Equal drop. One stack of rod. No, that doesn't make sense. We need the screws specifically. Ah, I see. There was, in fact, some thought put into this. Yeah, we'll drop the screws right inside. This is supposed to be plates. And then this is the stack of rods. That makes more sense. We need some color palette adjustments. Oh, that's new. What is that? Oh, one of them is gold. I see. Oh, we've got a few new stuff here. Ah, yes. Gamer RGB. Isn't that lovely? So now I'm gonna go with my classic favorite. And, oh, we can put a llama on there now. So we are going for more on the cyan side. Darken that up. A bit of a desaturated purple. There we go. Alright, I think I am going to drop all of the materials in those, and we're going to go out exploring for a little bit. When we come back, should have everything processed. Grab some berries. But we need some fuel. I better make sure I have enough to make a crafting table with me. Lounge, yep, and Equipment Workshop. Funny. Plonk that down. And get some of this. Perfect. I love that they fully fall down like that now. Make sure we have enough fuel. Don't need that. Some big trees up here. I think we need some fuel. Really should have put this away before I went out. This is, of course, the most entertaining part about this game, is sitting here watching people manually craft. Alright, we got some fuel again. Let's go back to destroying the environment. And that one goes too. Okay. Okay. I believe that was a player collision scenario. I am apparently as solid as the ground, so when the tree falls on me, it explodes into pieces. Honestly, what a nice detail it would have been if the tree falling on you actually did damage to you. Alright, what's up here? We got some sulfur. Gonna grab that, we need that.
Unknown chemical element collected. This non-metallic and multivalent element seems to be present only in a solid state, and exhibits a most pungent smell. It is fortunate fix-it helmets are of such high quality. Research it in the MAM to establish classification and potential application.
Isn't this just the most exciting exploration you've ever seen? Alright, I think that's enough fuel for a while. Stop worrying about that. Oh, big guy. I'm in danger. Ow, ow. No. He has gotten me every single time. Hey, Sassy. You sure can't. That's not gonna help anything. Sitting here talking to my blank screen this whole time. How are you doing today? We are out exploring while we're waiting for some materials to gather. Yeah, it would help if my setting up screen was maybe a little bit more interesting and not just a static image with nothing going on. Where did we end up? Ah, all the way up here. Okay. Yeah, no, I can't imagine that would be a whole ton of excitement there. See, and just the casual friend group servers that I've messed with. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's, you know, it's a factory sim. It's pretty sandboxy. But it's mostly focused on automation. We are exploiting a new planet. As we've been informed, to attempt to save the human race because we've exploited our home planet too much. And we don't have the resources to sustain life anymore. These little guys. Down he goes. Oh yeah, there's 4 starter areas, and what we all kind of had to learn is that the starter area that you select is still part of the same map. So this is going to extend all up here. So even though I started down here in the plains area, I'll still have access to the mushroom forest, or the mushroom desert, the sandy desert, and the rainforest area at some point. But there's all sorts of stuff that you can gather. You can find these slugs, which help you with overclocking your instruments. You can find hostile creatures, which, you know, they have drops that you can convert into DNA and send for tickets and stuff. And then we've got alien artifacts, which the more of those that you find, the further in the story you get with our little AI guide, Ada, here. That's the big guy. Oh. That went better than expected. Let's see, what research trees do I already have set? I don't know, because I don't have the materials to build a research bench. Hang on. We can fix that. Okay. Not much I can do with that till I find some Sam. Celia, I'm okay with. Power slugs, we need a purple power slug. This is going to be our next major upgrade for exploration. That's going to be very helpful. And this one is new.
This unknown chemical element was in reality an unusual mixture of solid sulfide and sulfate materials from which sulfur can be extracted. Sulfur's primary use lies in fertilizers, which we have no use for. Instead, this element enables access to more volatile obstacle clearing and pioneer defending tools.
Oh, big guy. Ow. You can sneak up on those and they won't spawn anything, but there's always more than one. Got it. Let's see, how close are we? We need to find a bit more amethyst before we can get those. Oh, we didn't get any story dialogue for that Mercer Sphere. More amethyst. Excellent. Even more. I know they call it quartz, but it's purple, and purple quartz is amethyst, so we're just gonna keep calling it amethyst. Big guy. Oh, little guys. I make good decisions. Ow. Well. So there are 3 modes that you can set in this game for what happens when you die. The first is that you keep all of your stuff. The second is that you only keep your equipped items. And the third is that you dropped everything. And I insist on hard mode, so we dropped everything. So I have to go back and collect all of that. While it's still being guarded by one of the hostile creatures. With no weapons. Or parachute. It's fine, we'll be fine. We got this. Right? Yeah, I totally got this. It's totally fine. Ooh. The nice part here, at least, is unlike Minecraft, my stuff isn't going to despawn after 5 minutes. It will stay there forever. I have no defense against this guy. Am I moving faster when I go backwards? Am I imagining that? Oh yeah, I forgot. We only get 3 bars of health when we respawn. Yeah, so I'm not going after some of the best conditions. It's alright, I'm just chew on some nuts, that'll help. Oh, that's bauxite. Copper. We don't need copper. Oh no. It's okay, we know what we're doing. Sort of. I don't have enough inventory space for everything. What did I leave behind? Alright, we got the rebar gun. We've got the ammo. Who's over here? That goes over here. Okay. We have defense. Nope. Got me anyway. They've got 2 different kinds of attacks. They've got the scatter shots, and then they've got the charged attack that is basically instant travel. And the further you are from the charged attack, the less damage you take from it. Alright, what do we leave behind? What should we leave behind? Well, it would help if I equipped everything. Definitely need this. And this. We can condense some stuff into the same type of item. Hey, Cosmos. Welcome in. Good to see you. How are you doing today? We're recovering from our first death on stream. Can't believe it took us 4 streams to get there, but here we are. Operational, excellent. Alright, so here we have a hard drive. I'll let Ada explain.
Damaged hard drive successfully acquired. All pioneers are contractually obliged to preserve and secure any recovered hard drives for analysis in the MAM, which may result in benefits to the Fix-It mission. Speculation as to why there are crashed freighters in your Fix-It designated zone is discouraged as specified in your contract.
Small progress toward dying on stream? Yeah. And we are out of inventory space again. Anything worth getting rid of? Oh. That'll work. Alright, let's go back. Thanks for the lurk, Sassy. Good luck with your Discord. Oh, spider. Did you just dodge my shot? Gotcha. Hang on. Let's see what we can do with the man. Maybe this can help me clear some stuff. Well, I maybe shouldn't have converted all of that. Treants, power slugs. Oh, we have what we need. That's going to be extremely helpful.
Blade Runners unlocked. Equipped to run faster, jump with greater force, and decrease fall damage that might otherwise have lowered your value to fix it.
Alright. Power died. Still on biomass burner, so I have to refuel manually. Once we get our tier high enough, we'll be able to automate that with coal power. Come back later for that. Use that. Use that. Ow. Don't mind me, I block with my face. Where'd you go? There you are. Oh, we have a full stack of that, okay. Don't want to get rid of those. Oh. That's an easy way to free up inventory space. Scan a hard drive. Destiny 2, I'm not familiar with that game. I'll have to come back for those materials later. Okay. Still more deuterium there. That's going to be helpful. But we need fuel. Oh, I've got a stack here. I don't need to do all that. Okay. We'll work with that. We can deposit the logs and leaves here. And then we will have it send the biofuel. Why are these not getting fueled? Oh, right. I keep forgetting these don't burn at even rates. It's not gonna have all 8 burn at the same time if it doesn't need it. Once everything is yellow, we can power everything back on. Should do for a little while. We hope. Okay. Nothing we can do with rubber right now. We haven't even unlocked the ability to make stators, so I don't think I can do anything with that. Same with the heavy modular frames, so we can just stash all that. The quartz, I've gotten what I need out of it. Oh, we've just got some regular biomass still. Alright, and we can do a bit of research. That is not research. That is research. We can't do any research until the hard drive finishes. It's gonna need rotors. That's just gonna need cable. We can do cable. No problem, Cosmos. You know, we could add this to our to-do list. It'd be very helpful there. And we need 5 alien protein. We'll go ahead and sink the rest of it. Yeah, I will say, this is a bit of a slow start game. Once we get the Tier 1, Tier 2 iron, and the Tier 1 copper, then we start moving a bit more quickly through everything. Do, 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 do. Oh, right, and concrete, because concrete is needed everywhere. Go a little over what we need there. Because we're going to need cable elsewhere. Should be good. Alright, we've
Hard
got
drive
fuse
analysis
wire, bolted
completed.
frame.
Alternative recipe
I'm not gonna
selection
use
available in the
those.
MAM.
Let's see what we've got. Oh. Can't turn down the inventory slots. So I don't
Pocket
need
dimension
this.
significantly expanded. I worked all afternoon, analyzing the transdimensional confibulatory
aim to knock it out of the
permutations of
way.
alien DNA to achieve this. We are
Oh,
all doing
yes.
our part for Fix-It.
Quick wire is important.
Research completed.
We actually have
Caterium
what we
ingot
need
recipe
for
unlocked.
that.
New caterium research available.
This is just unlocking. Ah.
Medical properties of local mycelia established.
have everything
New
we need to
research
take care
options
of.
available. Medical inhaler variants.
A little more mycelia.
Vitamin inhaler recipe unlocked. Not only does it restore your health, it also acts as a preventative supplement against scurvy and other shortage-induced conditions. Unfortunately, it does not improve aesthetics, but Pioneer helmets are built to withstand extreme circumstances. Therapeutic inhaler recipe unlocked. It smells like fried breakfast-induced cardiac arrest, but surprisingly, it restores you to full health.
You know what? Fried breakfast-induced cardiac arrest. Hey, Carrot! Welcome in, how you doing? We are in early stages Satisfactory. Still trying to get early tier materials set up. Oh, and happy birthday to you too. Can't believe we both share a birthday. Often satisfied. Yes, yes, I see what you've done there. It's the title of the game. It's incredible. No, don't worry about it. It's a staple of every Satisfactory stream that we have to make the pun. It's got to be in there somewhere, and every time the streamer refuses to do it, the chat just gets worse and worse with it. see. The plan I started with here might not work, so we'll see. It is appreciated, Carrot. I always love a good pun. Remember, the key, you know your pun has landed well when the more the recipient groans at it. I am working on Tier 1 iron, so we're trying to get a factory set up for rods, plates, screws, and rebar. We're setting it up as if we've got 240 coming in for when we upgrade to the next tier conveyor belt, but that's gonna take a little bit. So it's going to run at half capacity. I don't love it, but it'll be alright. It'll mean there's little we have to do to upgrade further down the line. In past playthroughs, I haven't found I needed too much more than 240 per minute at the first tier. I am out of rods, so I've got kind of a design that I tend to go for here, where I do 2 rows of 4. I've got my logistics floor set up. But I'm trying something a little different this time, where I've got, because I'm drawing from 2 different materials and or 2 different nodes, I don't have the right tier of conveyor belt yet to combine them, so I don't want that to be a bottleneck at this point. Although maybe I should just accept it, because the 8 smelters together tends to split up a little more nicely than I think this is going to end up. So let me see. Yeah, so doing it this way, it's going to take 8 over here for the rods, which is going to extend out further than I wanted to. So yeah, I might have to go back on my design. But only 4 for the plates. Alright. Strip off the band-aid now. Undoing a bit of work I did on my last Satisfactory stream. Doing a dangerous thing facing this direction as I deconstruct. I'm going to end up breaking a miner. Okay. Oop, do not want those. We have a filter to say only do this item. I would love if there was a filter that said do everything but this item. Oh. Soup on. I have to get this out of the way. Changing direction on these. Yeah. Okay. So the game updated since the last time I played. They did a hotfix update, and apparently, as a result, they've restored these nodes. You're not supposed to be able to put a miner down on a node if it still has this little chunk on top of it. that's the wrong item. I don't think I have half foundations. I do not. Let me see. So got some tickets here. Those are going to be useful. I got 3 more. Let me see if there's anything else I want to grab too. Organization. Whoa. That's new. Ah, yes. Wall power. That's going to be very helpful. So the idea here, we've got these awesome sinks. We drop excess materials in there, it converts those to tickets for us. And we can use those tickets for new types of building materials, and they mostly end up just being cosmetic stuff. And stuff that kind of helps you with organizing your build. But the idea is that everything that's completely necessary for the build itself is just readily available to you. So let's see if we can fit a merger between these two. This is not going to work. I'm not going to be... Yeah, I can't hook that up. In either direction. Okay. So we'll stick with them in the same direction. We just won't have the foundations immediately in front of them. Production... Which way do I want that to come in? I need this back. These are temporary. I've got stairs that I want to get set up later. But we're still kind of in early stages of layout, so I don't want to assume I know where the stairs are going to be. Right? Yeah. We have Control-C, Control-V work here, so we don't have to go through and manually configure each one of these. Something I was doing, I don't know how noticeable it was, as I was placing down these floor holes, is I was reversing their direction so that because the lift bases its direction on the item it's attaching to, and I'm attaching to the floor hole, if I reverse direction of the floor hole, I don't have to keep schooling around the lifts. I'm going to put the merger here and have that come in this wall. Oh, I do have Mark IIs. Okay. I don't have a bottleneck to worry about there, then. Okay. They added so many quality of life updates to this. The fact that I can place splitters on the ceiling makes load balancing these so much easier. Noticing if you place the lifts close enough to the splitters, they'll just attach directly to the splitter. We don't need the conveyor belt in between. And we'll do the straight conveyors for this part. These should be Mark II. Eventually this whole setup is going to need to upgrade to Mark III. Okay. And perfectly load balanced. Drop some mergers here. Smelters align with the concrete joints the way that I've placed them, so too much futzing with that. And this is a design that I use pretty regularly, so this is something that I will want to put on Blueprint at some point. And that is a smelter array. Hey, Phoenix. Welcome in. Good to see you. How you doing? Oops. Doing good? No, I still need to do... No, I don't have monetization. I've gotten... you can't spend bits on my channel yet. Don't worry, we'll get there. We're starting simple for now. This is only stream 4. I know, I have to get the jump scare set up. I deserve it. By 6 is our starter setup here. Surprisingly, I think I have enough concrete to do that. Let's see how this works. A new feature, which is... Let's see if we can do it this way. Vertical splitters are a thing now. No, I don't think that's quite going to do what I want it to do. Ah, it's a shame. That's okay. We can work with it this way. Oops. Convinced that's the best way to do that. Yeah, I like that better. There we go. Okay. So we'll have an even split that way. And now we'll get our first constructor array set up. Need some rods. So what we're doing right now is going to replace both of these rows. Do you think I have enough rods? I think that might cut it. What I meant earlier, so I'm doing all these that are facing that way, and we'll flip it the other way. And then when we go to place the lifts to attach to them, they'll orient automatically for me. Unless I get my directions mixed up. Whoops. Alright, so these are set up to make 120 rods. So I think we're probably going to turn 30 per minute into screws, 30 per minute into rebar, and the other 60 per minute will remain as rods. Get our load balanced array set up again. Having the logistics floor set up this way so I'm not just feeding at the same level of the equipment is very helpful, because I have all this space underneath of the equipment itself to set up these arrays. Oop. Not sure what happened there. Oh, I see. It used to be for these kinds of corners, it's 2 away from the turn point. I guess when they added the curves, it changed the way conveyors worked, so we don't have as tight a tolerance anymore. But what that does allow me to do... send 60 up that way. It's gonna be back one. Where am I gonna put... Let's see, this comes out this way, so... collection point should probably go on this side somewhere. Okay. Let's try something here. Nope. Alright. I want that to attach directly, so we have to place this first. Okay. So we will put the merger here then. I mean, where that tolerance really messes with us. Oh, it's not happening here. Yeah, these are a little further away. I'll find another spot to demonstrate. Alright, that's gonna be 60 per minute. I need... When we do these straight conveyor type build modes, where it's going to be tight is going to be the destination that we set. So I start here and I move over here, but when you place a conveyor belt on an empty conveyor pole, it always treats it as if it's going the direction you're placing the endpoint. So we have to place one side or the other side will become an input. We've got plates, rods, screws, and rebar, so that's going to be 4 storage containers in the Austin sink. Let's make sure we know where the platforms are. We don't have the stair foundations yet, but we'll start with the ramps. Make that easy to get in and out of there. Alright, and now we just recreate the same thing up here. And we are in need of cable. It's the silly little details like this that I love about this game. Alright, that should be enough. Just sticks. We're gonna run out of concrete in a second. Make sure we're facing the right direction, yes. Machines and the floor holes have the same rotation memory. So if I rotate this 180 degrees, the machines also rotate. So I base the direction of those on the input of a machine with an input and an output. And now the vertical lifts will just orient for me. I don't have to rotate them. Oh, we need the floor holes over here. That will be a Mark II. That will not. That tells us where to place the splitters. Check how much each of these is going to use. So we want 30 going to screws, and we want 30 going to rebar. So 7.5 for screws. And 7.5 for rebar. There we go. But that will add a complication. For the output, because we don't want two different outputs on the same conveyor belt. So these are going to merge with themselves, and then we'll have two belts, two separate belts for them, heading to our storage array. We'll have a merger right here. Where's my... Interesting. screws are a 1-to-4 ratio. So for every one rod that goes in, 4 screws come out. So it's 7.5, 15, 30 per machine. That's going to make this 120, so 60 per minute belt, 60 per minute belt, and Mark II for the 120 per minute belt. Gonna have to work out how I'm getting that past this over here, because this is gonna be where we're making plates, but we only need 4 of those. Actually, that's gonna work out nicely. Oh. I missed. On this side. Oh, that's new. So placing these down retained what was in my clipboard instead of making me start from scratch. Okay. That's also important to keep in mind, because that means that we could get kind of a mess of stuff later on when it's retaining the underclock rate. Alright, so we're going to have 80 per minute on the iron plates. And this is where we're going to see not having as tight a tolerance on the conveyor belts is going to get us into a bit of trouble. 30, 60, 120, yeah. Mark II. We're on curve, we want straight. Yeah, so I can't just do this. I have to go to default to get these to line up. First, so the conveyors aren't in the way. So I think what I'm gonna do is have each of these deposit this way. Plates will be first. Mm-hmm. 15. 120. Got 120 screws coming in. 80 plates, 120 screws, and 30 rebar. Coming down the center here, we'll have them deviate over there. So yeah, this will go directly to where we need it. Straight, 1, 2, 3. Two. There we go. Okay. Faces the other way. Because this platform I'm standing on is going to be basically where we're viewing everything from. So it'll be nice to be able to just look in the factory and see the stuff coming down here. That is going to be the 60 rods. Oh, this is the output side. That's the 60 rods. That's facing the wrong direction. There you go. It's very easy to get your inputs and outputs mixed up here, and if you have the wrong one, then this won't turn blue to indicate it's going to connect to the output point. These are supposed to be marked 2. We're going to be placing splitters between these, and what we're going to do later on is upgrade these to smart splitters. And that will allow us to send overflow to an awesome sync, so we can generate tickets and we won't back up the production. But we're not going to hook up the outputs for that side just yet. I'm out of plates. Reinforced iron plates. No, we finished up there. Replace that splitter. No, we do want that splitter there first. Don't need that many more of those. Okay, that works. And that's the logistics. It should do it. Let's see how much cable we've got. 147, so we can start powering everything. You've got a limit of 4 connections to each one of these, tier 1. So I've got to place quite a few of them. And we have to travel this to the next floor up as well. We're going to have columns coming up here, so I don't want to place one directly there. But we also need to bring some power over here for the miners. Let's see, that's 3 of 4. We'll take that one. And we'll need to bring this one to the end because we'll eventually have an awesome sink to power as well. So we did unlock the pillars. Excellent. Let's get those attached right away. Not going to close up the walls just yet. So eventually there's some stairs that I want to get set up. So we've got that there. We can split that off around the pillar here. There. One here. What's going to happen, we're going to do railings around the floors that we have the buildings on, and then we're going to do walls around our logistics floors. And what we're going to end up with is this is a very, very simple design. It's going to end up looking like a parking garage. Bring that all the way down. Right for that. We've already got some foundation here. And then we want these small pillars for the storage array. Ah. See, I have miscalculated something. This one will come down here, one right here. And it's right here. No, that's the right spot. Okay. Something else up. Let's see. Okay. And when we get the tickets for stairs, we'll turn these into stairs. Let me see, did I unlock doors? I did not. We'll put a doorway here so we've got easy access inside. These are going to be for, we haven't unlocked dimensional depots yet, so we'll plonk those down right there. So the storage will upload into the dimensional depot where we can access from anywhere without having to store things in our inventory. And then we'll have some overflow. So as we use that up, instead of having to ramp this up to the upload rate for the dimensional depot, we'll have a buffer. And with the exception of concrete, I've never really used anything fast enough to run through that buffer. But we'll see how this goes. We've got some new design decisions that we need to make because we can't leave everything looking like parking garage. This world's gonna get very boring very fast doing it that way. So that's the design. Takes 122 megawatts to power. And we have room for an additional, let's see, we do not have 122. We don't have anywhere near 122. The highest peak is 80. That gives us... Alright. We'll have to underclock to 50% of everything. It's an exponential rate, so it'll save us a lot more power. And then we should be able to hook it up right away. No, those are correct. These that need to go to 50%. Actually, we'll take it that way. These are already at 50%. We'll bring these down to 25%. Oh, I set these to produce 7.5. That's not what we wanted. 1530. But we'll have these at 30 for now. Yeah, a lot of math gets involved when you try to do perfect efficiency on these factories. Yeah, unfortunately, we can't see how much of an effect that had on our power until the machines start running, because this is all going to be the base 100% clock speed. Once it produces the first item, the clock speed will update. No, we'll do this one. Put something over here. That's fully hooked up, so we'll hook up to this. And there it goes. The curved conveyor belts are so much nicer. My favorite part is watching the load balancers work. The way these splitters work is it's always going to send one to each output in sequence, regardless of how fast those outputs are. So like putting a double speed belt over here compared to here isn't going to pull twice as much. But there's some tricks where you can use that to your advantage. And there they go. those are now working, we can take these offline. We can see our max consumption dropping dramatically as the underclock speeds are getting calculated. But because we've got all these other machines that aren't working at perfect efficiency, even though our max consumption is now at a solid 166, it's going to take a bit of a coincidence for our actual consumption to hop above our capacity of 120. It's gonna happen. It seems unlikely, but I'm certain it's gonna happen to me. Let's sink some excess materials. Don't need those, and we don't need those. That's not what I want. This is what I want over here. I'm seeing a yellow bar. Running at 81% efficiency there, so what's going on? What's slowing us down? Do some recalculations here. We've got 30 per minute. Per minute, 60 per minute total. We've got the merger here. That is the capacity of a Mark I conveyor belt. And that's what it is. We planned for an output of 240. We're actually running at a quarter of that, so underclocking all of these to 50%. They're still only going to run at half efficiency because they're still only receiving half the materials they need. I think that's okay for now. Said it was going to happen, didn't I? Let's see, there's a power spike. Yep, we hit our peak. We'll bring these down to a quarter efficiency, or a quarter clock speed. they come down to? 1.6, yeah, so we see at 50% we drop from 4 megawatts to 1.6 megawatts. These are where they need to be, but I do want to make sure I've got the power shards in there for them. So when I have those at tier 2, and 200% clock speed, so we can get the 240 rate that we're planning for eventually. These we do want to be at 7.5 output. And these are going to be brought down to 5. Start this back up. Hopefully we get lucky. And yeah, that brought our max consumption down to less than total capacity. And given enough time, we'll start to see these run at 100% efficiency at their current clock speed. So we should start seeing 0 yellow bars. Let that run for a little while. Let's see, we need some iron plates. We've got that. Make some more cable. So we'll work on unlocking the jump pad, and we need to set a goal for the space elevator so we can start working on the higher tiers. And then we need 50 rotors, and that's just going to be rods and screws. I think maybe we should set this up to do rotors instead. No plates left, we'll take those out. Take those out, and set that up for rotors. So 5 rods make 1 rotor, so 250 rods. How much is this producing? 40 screws per minute. This is using 25 per minute. And that's not bad. I do wonder, Carrot, what it really is. Wait, is it actually just margarine? Wikipedia says its product type is margarine. But I don't think that's right, because the whole point of I can't believe it's not butter is that it's vegan, right? Soybean and palm oil, according to Reddit. Here we go. We've got an ingredients list from I can't believe it's not butter themselves. We've got purified water, soybean oil, palm and palm kernel oil, salt, lecithin comes from soy, natural flavor, vinegar, vitamin A, palmite, and beta carotene color. That sounds contains milk and soy, so it contains milk. It's not vegan, but it sounds like it's vegetarian. Butter is vegetarian. Margarine is not. Yeah, you know what? That sounds right, Phoenix. Back in the days of Honey Nut Cheerios. I say that like Honey Nut Cheerios don't still exist today. The long lost relics of the 90s. They don't still exist anymore. They're all gone. The Gushers, the Honey Nut Cheerios. I mean, it wasn't completely BS, right? It was just kind of a reductive idea of the reality of it, which is, you know, cholesterol is very necessary for our bodies, but you know, you have the difference of the high density lipids, the low density lipids. One of them is a lot better for you than the other, since it's the low density, isn't it? That's the bad cholesterol. Yeah, low density, because you've got more volume for actual lipid content. So you get less from it, but it takes up more space, and so you've got the concern of... I think maybe I'm kind of guessing some of this information, so don't quote me on this in any medical journals, but that's my understanding, that the low density is just more likely to clot. Yeah, they never really do explain in the commercials how it works to lower your cholesterol, huh? Oh, that's interesting, Carrot. I haven't actually heard anybody talk about that. I don't know that I would know how to tell the difference of what raises your cholesterol because it contains cholesterol versus what helps your body produce its own cholesterol. Let's see, did I unlock an inventory slot? I did not. Have the ability to unlock an, oh no, 500 steel beams, there's no way we had that over there on the beach. We haven't picked any up. But yeah, the deceptive marketing of some of this stuff is very interesting. So I remember a few months ago I was looking at, you know, because I'm not exactly the best eater. I do have a lot of ultra-processed food. I've got a sweet tooth. And I do enjoy the Little Debbie cakes and the Hostess cakes and all that. I was looking at one point at the, you know, they've got the oatmeal and cream cookies that I thought, you know, this is oatmeal, so this has got to be at least a little bit better. You know, if I'm going to eat these anyway, I might as well eat the healthier stuff, and I enjoy these. So I turn the box over, look at the nutrition facts, and, you know, I look at all the percentages and all the numbers, and I think, this actually looks pretty good. This is definitely a lot better than the one next to it. And then I look at the serving size, and it's a third of a cookie. So you unpackage 3 servings every time you open a cookie. And then you do the math of what happens when you eat an entire cookie, and it was no different from the Cosmic Brownies right next to it. It's a lot of interesting ways that people play with numbers to make them look better for you. See, we can try to collect some Caterium. Yeah, we've got the scanner. We'll let this work for a little while. Right, yeah, I know the saturated and the trans fats are going to produce a lot more of the low-density lipids. But that's the other thing too, is, you know, the second L in HDL, LDL, that stands for lipid, and lipid really just means fat. So presumably, if it's got a fat content that's just not saturated or trans, I would assume that means that it's a low-density lipid, so it's still external fats that you're taking in. As opposed to your body producing those fats on its own. So that's interesting. I'll have to look more into that. And I mean, weight management is a completely different story, I've learned, especially depending on your body type, because if I just manage to get myself up out of the house and moving around, that's enough that I can start dropping weight at a pretty healthy rate pretty consistently. Last fall I started mountain biking, and I haven't been keeping up with it as much as the season started again this spring. But I lost 50 pounds within a season. My energy was up and everything, and I had made absolutely no changes to my diet at that point. Whereas, some people, they won't see any weight loss with that kind of activity. And, my understanding is that just because, somebody perceives you as overweight, you might have a thicker build, doesn't necessarily mean that you're unhealthy. That might be your peak health at that point. All that is to say that taking care of your body and being healthy is not strictly as intuitive or as clear-cut as just stepping on the scale every day. Yeah, there's only so much that I can get with exercise alone. My diet is definitely not a healthy diet. And even if I can get to, a healthier weight for myself, that doesn't mean I'm not going to have other problems going on. I could very well be diabetic at this point, but have never gotten my blood sugar tested. I've got predispositions for stuff like heart disease, and high blood pressure. No, I want it over here. The human body is a complex thing. It takes a lot to get us up and moving and thinking, all the stuff that we're able to do. Yeah, so that's interesting too. So I wonder what the implications of that could be. Is cortisol, our stress hormone, is that a contributing factor for diabetes, or is there other stuff going on there?
Research completed. Quickwire recipe unlocked. New Caterium research available.
Let's see, we're gonna want this. Yeah, and see, that's one of those things that I'm very skeptical of, because the last time I got weighed at a doctor, they categorized me as morbidly obese, which, I don't have the build that you would have in mind when you hear that somebody is morbidly obese. But the calculation that they used, I know for a fact because they put it in my chart, that this was calculated based on body mass index, and body mass index is just a ratio of weight to height. Um, you could see like peak health bodybuilders showing up as morbidly obese because they have dense muscle mass, that's going to put them at the same weight level. I'm not exactly a bodybuilder, but I do have more than average leg strength. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's a lot of muscle in my legs, so it could very well be if you reduced my muscle mass in my legs to average, that I could show as a more reasonable category. Rode a unicycle. For years, like just for fun, or did he have like a career with it or something? For fun, yeah. I had a friend in college that just had a unicycle. Just use it to get around casually to and from classes. It's astounding to me. I know people that can barely ride a bicycle, and here she is with a unicycle. Why is that bottlenecked? Because that's 100 per minute, not 40 per minute. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to try to complete a couple of research trees, and then maybe wrap up. So this on the to-do list. That is 100, so we don't have enough Caterium for 2 of those.
New Caterium research options available.
This is the smart
Congratulations
splitter
on
that we're
finding
working
this
on.
metal. Many Fix-It initiatives will benefit from Caterium's applicability in advanced engineering. Also, it is probably not sentient, and so unlikely to feel pain as we exploit it.
So we'll go back for some more Caterium over there. Ow. Now we could use some of this. Yeah, I always love to see people show off their niche hobbies. It's the sort of thing you don't encounter often, but you know it's there. Did we never unlock the Xenobasher? Quite a bit of that tree completed. We don't need these. Megafauna. We must have. No, it's not here. Oh, you know what? I think the Xenobasher might be tier 2. Criteria. We'll run through all the wire. We've been storing some of that up, so not worried about restocking that.
Zipline unlocked. When equipped, the zipline facilitates travel along power lines, regardless of whether the line is powered. Note: based on previous Pioneer events, Fixit recommends not using zip lines during thunderstorms and typhoons, or while drinking coffee.
I don't think these are going to be much of a priority. Yeah, Ada's the delight, isn't she? And we'll store that for later. We'll need that for the sulfur tree. We're gonna need that. And, oh. We'll do some manual crafting for the rotors, too. I've got 3 normal nodes to the right of me, so we can overclock those to 240 output. Each one of those is going to be its own tier 2 iron factory, so we'll have... Yeah. Yeah, it's very easy to tune Ada out as you're playing this game, but you miss some great lines that she's got if you do. Ada is our little AI overlord. And outside of multiplayer, there's no evidence that we communicate with anybody else except for Ada. Not quite. She's... No, yeah. That's... GLaDOS is right. The setting is different, but yeah, it's the same energy. What was I looking for? Oh, alien megafauna. We wanted the inhalers.
Research completed. The protein inhaler can restore health in the eventuality that you have been carelessly damaging Fixit property.
Yep. Not gonna try to do too much more with my Caterium today. That'll be good for another day, but Amethyst, it's a bit of a trek for the closest Amethyst node. See how this is doing. Well, that does some more rotors. Let's just make sure we're getting some stock over here too. We're in business. I don't know if we're gonna see if I've got any bottlenecks in my logistics until we ramp this up to max capacity. But everything seems to be running well right now. 100% efficiency. Da-da-da-da. That gets us where we need for this unlock.
Milestone reached. The Fix-It jump pad combines high technology and innovation for optimized factory traversal and an ideal travel experience. Clarification. Ideal travel experience not guaranteed, individual results may vary. Pioneers are responsible for all workplace accidents resulting from jump pad usage.
We'll get the space elevator built since we're so close to it already. Should have all the materials together. Do it. This needs to be a temporary drop place. This is just gonna be for initial tier unlocks for right now. And that will set us up for next session. So, our goals for next time, I want to get the Tier 1 copper factory, as well as unlock Tier 2 so we can start working towards coal power, because this is not going to cut it for us for very long. I think I want to try to stick to a Sunday schedule for Satisfactory streams. And maybe I'll think about doing Saturdays for hardcore Minecraft. I kind of expected that to be a one-off. I really did not think that world was going to last the entire 3-hour stream. But Friday during the day is also a day I usually work.
Project assembly initialized. Congratulations, Pioneer. The space elevator will now automatically connect with the Project Assembly orbital platform. Project assembly is divided into phases, each of which require the delivery of project parts, such as smart plating, via the space elevator. Subsequent phases unlock access to new tiers with more advanced technologies to construct, automate, explore, and exploit. It is time to be honest. This project is part of the Save the Day program, the largest united undertaking in human history, destined to save us all. Earth is in peril and only Fix-It pioneers offer hope for survival. Fix-It is counting on you. Humanity is counting on you. Do not let Fix-It down.
But yeah, so I have to think about what time I want to do the hardcore Minecraft world. Maybe Saturdays. Maybe I'll do 2 days a weekend, or maybe I can work out a time that I want to do weeknights. But I want to make sure I'm not competing with any of our other friends. You know, we've only got a small following right now, and you know, I don't know about anybody else, but I often find myself with several streams open trying to keep track of everything at once. But I think that'll do it for today. Thank you guys for hanging out. Appreciate you being here. And I will see you next time. Let me see, who are we gonna raid? Who do we have to raid? Charlie Brown is live right now. Let's go raid Charlie Brown. Make sure I'm spelling his username right. I don't think I did that right. That's... okay. Okay, that'll do it. Thanks again for hanging out, and I'll see you next time.